was gonna show him how the white man. I was gonna show him how the white man is the devil by simply showing. I'm gonna use his term. I said it describes Jesus as black. He said it describes Jesus as brown. When you look in every church USA, Jesus is white. Can't get no more devilish than that. Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, my name is Ashley, and I'm from North Carolina.
Okay. You got a question or
Um,
comment?
I do actually, and I do have a question for you, but can I start with saying to the person that just called in and was so ugly to you, he ought to be ashamed of himself.
Okay.
That is not what most white people are like.
Okay.
And it just really pisses me off.
Okay? Are you white?
I am.
Okay.
And
No
I really
problem.
don't appreciate people representing me in that light. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Um, but I wanted to say, I feel like you're doing your listeners a disservice when you talk about how white people take lands by the sword when there's actually no country that has not been taken by the sword. Like Native Americans were taking each other's territory by the sword. African tribes were taking each other's territory by the sword. And I don't think any of it's right. But I just feel like it just gives a slanted view. Does that make sense?
Well, you would have to kind of substantiate what it sounds like you're saying. There's always been tribal wars, which is correct.
Exactly.
Right.
Yes.
But in the tribal wars, let's say the Native Indians, when the white man came over here, the tribes still had their territories. The tribe,
yes.
so when the white man came, so when we talk about unaliving, or when we talking about killing, or when we talking about wars, the reason why we say the white man was blessed with the sword and worse, because even if you talk about the Native Indians and they have their tribal wars, when when the white man came over here, they still had their lands. The thought wasn't to eradicate all of them and take the land. That was not the thought. But when the white man or the European came over here, that was absolutely his thought. His thought was like, and then the tribal wars would just start over. It wouldn't even be necessary territory. It could be a disagreement. So there would always be fights. But when Europeans came over here, it wasn't enough to live over here. And then in history, did the Native Indians try to get along with them at first? Yes or no?
They did it first.
Right. So now, as the Europeans is coming over here, the Native Indians welcome them over here. Christopher Columbus even has the famous quote saying that there's not a more peaceable people than these Native Indians. And then in the very next verse, the very next statement he makes is, they must be made to work. So
Absolutely.
So now what the white man did is not what the Native Indians did tribally. The white man performed genocide against the Native Indians. The white man performed genocide against the Mexicans, against the South Americans, against every nation, so that he can establish this country. So we're never saying that other nations or other races of people don't unalive people, don't steal from people, don't rob from people. But when we're talking about the quintessential murderer on the face of the earth, there's nobody that does it better than your people. Your people are the only people that
is true. I cannot dispute that.
Right. And so your people are the only people that actually dropped a nuclear bomb on people. Your people on American soil, there has never been an air attack on American soil except when your people flew aircrafts over Black Wall Street and dropped grenades.
Yeah, I mean, I can't argue with you. I just felt like I see what you're saying.
Yeah, so that's
really do.
Yeah. Thank you. And so, and I appreciate, a white person like yourself coming in to have this conversation, because when we break it down, most people think we're absolving black people from crime or absolving Native Indians from crime. We're not absolving anybody from crime, because crime is crime. But when we're talking about the number one, and the reason why I'm having this conversation is Donald Trump made a point to say that The migrants, it's in their genes to murder. Well, if it's in their genes to murder, it got to be in white people's genes to murder, because that's all they do. And then they make us, and then here's another thing. The Native Indians still spoke their language. When the white man came over here, he took the Native Indians' language away. He took the Mexican language away. Like, if you think about it, black people speak English. Mexicans or Latinos speak Spanish. Spanish is from the Spaniards, who are white people. English is from the Europeans, which is white people. So even the language and stuff that blacks and the Spanish speak is because they came and took that away from us. Whereas the other tribes, when they would go to war with each other, they still spoke their native language, because it wasn't about making them be the other tribe. It was just over land or territory. Whereas the white man is not satisfied until we're all like him. We all worship him.
But see, when you say like the white man, that just seems, I mean, I know what you're saying, but like my family, we didn't own slaves. My family hid slaves. My family hid Union soldiers. My family hid their horses.
Right.
Because apparently, even way back in the day, my family believed that we are all God's creatures. You know what I'm saying?
And so, and I appreciate you saying that, because a lot of times, right, when we say white people, like if I say all black people eat chicken, for example, right? All black people don't eat chicken, but it's just a general statement. So when I was trying to talk to the white person that called before you, I was trying to explain to him, when we say white people, it's a general statement. We don't mean every single white person that existed did this. That there ain't a good white, I mean, y'all are minority though. Like if it's 1,000 white people, probably 900 of them are wicked and 100 of them are good. So you could be a part of that 100 that is good, but I don't have time to sort you out. Like I don't have time to look. What's your name, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm Ashley.
Ashley. So I don't have time to look for the good Ashleys when all these other white people are trying to destroy me. If I eventually find you and then you're a good white person, then so be it. But I don't have time, because history teaches us that we just can't trust white people. That's what history teaches us. So I'm not trying to negate that maybe you and your family could have done some things for black people, but at the same time that y'all did good things for black people, y'all also do reap the benefits of what the wicked white people did for your people. So you do get to reap those benefits. We don't get to reap those benefits.
How do you not reap any of the benefits?
So when we tried to build our cities up, right? So if you take, where you from? You ain't got to give me your address. Right, there, North Carolina is fine.
I'm near Charlotte. I'm near Charlotte.
Okay, let's take Charlotte. So as white people was trying to build Charlotte up, y'all were allowed to build Charlotte up, make Charlotte great, bring hospitals, bring banks, bring principalities, bring structure, bring law. That's what y'all were allowed to do. When black people were so-called free from slavery, and then when we went to build our cities, every last one of them was burned to the ground based on lies by white people. Every last one of them. So we didn't reap the same benefits. Then when we tried to integrate and join, we lost our businesses, we lost our education, we lost our family structure. You have the war on crime. It's going to be war on drugs that specifically targeted us. So the things that America does specifically targets us so that we don't grow, whereas you're allowed to build whatever it is that you want. Even if you look at black and white neighborhoods. Now, you may not, I don't know if you experience the neighborhoods as much, but even from a black and white neighborhood, the only time a black neighborhood gets policed is when they're going to gentrify it. When they want to gentrify, right. when they're getting ready to gentrify a black neighborhood, then the police can do their job. When they don't want to gentrify it and it's just black, you know what they do? They tell black people the community has to police the community. When I wasn't hired to be a police officer, They were hired to be
Right.
police officers. So it's not it's always our job to police our own community until they say we want to gentrify the city. Now the police can do their job. Now you see more police patrol in the area. Like I noticed that in Harlem. In Harlem, New York, where I go out and teach, it used to just be black people there. Now that they gentrified it, you see a really good police presence in Harlem because white people are there. So we don't have the same footing, if you can understand what I'm saying.
I actually can. I have more experience in the black communities than probably most people. My godparents were black. Almost all of my best friends are black. My grandfather was really close to the black community.
Mm-hmm.
So we love y'all personally.
Okay, I mean,
and I think
mm-hmm.
that's why it makes me so mad when that man called in and said that, you know, because it's like talking about my family, and that just pisses me off, man. I'm sorry, it does.
No, that's fine, and it is good. I'm glad that, you know, we got a good, you know, seem to be good, you know, white woman that called in and say she mad at the other white man for saying that y'all ain't doing that, and even being able to have the conversation to understand. And that's what the same conversation I'm having with you, that's the conversation I wanted to have with him. So I appreciate you listening. And then after hearing it, you even said, I can't deny that. And that's all we try to get across.
No, I don't lie.
Right.
Well, no, I don't lie.
Okay.
It's just, you know, tensions are just so high. I just worry about it.
No problem.
No, I really do.
Well,
honey, I hope you have a blessed day.
Okay, I hope you have a decent day as well.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Bye. Whew. All right, y'all. I'm going to make a clip out of that with the white woman.